really nice to be here. Thank you, Julie, for the gracious introduction. My name is Kapono. I am currently in Cairo, Egypt, where I've been living, it's my fourth year, leading an international school here. Before that, I was head of school at a Hawai'i public charter school. And before that, did a lot of Native Hawaiian education nonprofit work, specifically mostly with Pacific American Foundation, Auntie Verlian Molina Wright and Uncle Herb Lee, if you know them. My mom is from Hilo, and I can, if we have more time, I'll give you some other family connections, including to the amazing festival that you guys have going on there now. And although nobody in my family, including my mom's cousin who runs the festival, dances hula, which is kind of ironic that Auntie Loana and nobody in our family dances. So anyway, it's nice to be here. What I want to do today is I want to give you a little background on what school could be as an organization, why I'm excited to be a part of it. Why do I want to give you the background? Because I think there's some areas that that we could tap into more as a state, and also because Hawaii is a leader in the what school could be movement. So I'll give you a little bit of background, and then I'll share a couple points on a slide with you, and then we can take some questions. So I don't know if any of you have seen the film Most Likely to Succeed, but it's one of the seminal films in education, produced by Ted Dintersmith. It features one specific school, High Tech High, and the journey of these kids through High Tech High as an alternative school. But really starts off talking about how education as we know it in a Western sense is based on this factory model, with Horace Mann going to Prussia, coming back, giving it to a commission of 10, flashbacks to Hawaii and take over. So commission of 10 doesn't sit very well with me for many reasons, but commission of 10, come back, you do that whole thing. And they come up with the scope and sequence of school, right? They come up with bell schedules and bells telling people where to go, and disciplines and grade levels. And really before that, before 130 years ago, school didn't look like that. There weren't disciplines separated and grade levels separated. Most schooling happened in one-room schoolhouses where school happened, or in ancient Western contexts, in a Socratic model where people of means got together and talked to people of means, or in more indigenous contexts, looking more like studying under the master, right? And learning a trade or an art or a craft or a science. So this new 130-year-old model of education takes over and does a decent job when the Western world is turning into a factory model, right? When we need similar quality workers with similar quality, fairly low-level skills to be able to work interchangeably in a factory in Chicago versus a factory in Detroit versus a factory in New England. It works really well for Prussia, where this model came from, where we need minimally trained and compliant soldiers. And so if you look at what the system that our kids are learning in was really built to do, it was built for compliance and minimal level proficiencies, and it continues to be so. Certainly all of us, anybody in education, anybody tangentially involved in education, aspires for it to be so much more. And certainly we try to do more than that. Certainly our students are getting more than that, but they're getting more than that because we're battling the inertia and the gravity of a system, not because the system's helping us with that. So, I've been working to deconstruct systems of oppression, specifically for Native Hawaiian students or all students in Hawaii. And doing that through a really systems approach, which I'm really passionate about. And then about 6 years ago, I met Ted Dintersmith. Ted's a venture capitalist by trade, and that's how he got his wealth. He produced Most Likely to Succeed. And then he started wondering, so what is working? Why does High Tech High working? What else is working? And so he took 2 years, and he spent the whole 2 years on the road. He went to every state of the 50 states. He wrote the book, What School Could Be, which has examples from every 50 state, and fell in love with Hawaii. I would tell you that the two states he fell in love with from the tour were Hawaii and North Dakota, which is a little interesting, right? states that you wouldn't necessarily put at the forefront of these types of national movements. But certainly Hawaii should be, right? Lahaina Luna, forefront of national school movement. You have humongous institutions of the nation's two largest private schools, number 1 and number 2, Punahou and Kamehameha, the largest endowment of any K-12 school in the world. With Kamehameha schools, in the only state with one Department of Education for the entire state. So many reasons why Hawaii is an outlier. And Ted certainly fell in love with Hawaii and all the amazing things that were happening. So he started through this 50-state process trying to figure out what's working. And he really settled on a couple things. Small steps to big changes. And I'll point that out because it was kind of contrary to where I was putting a lot of my time. It's systems work. Small steps to big changes means that we don't say we don't like the aircraft carrier, we're going to go build another aircraft carrier. It means we don't like the aircraft carrier, we're going to get on the little rubber dinghy and we're going to go around on the rubber dinghy and we're going to be innovative. Small steps to big changes means not waiting for the system to change, not waiting for your pain in the butt assistant principal, or head of school to allow you to do something. That there is room in your day to do something now for your kids. And that all passionate, good educators care about kids. And so why not take small steps right now and not wait for 5 years or 10 years? Because my kids are in school. I don't want anybody to wait for my kids. So certainly I shouldn't be waiting for the students in my class either. The other thing that what school could be was built on was agency and innovation, and not based on change through compliance metrics and control. And that idea that educators are professionals, and as professionals, yes, we have a high standard of care for students. Yes, there is a minimum bar. Yes, there's stuff that we need to do. And if educators are professionals, then they need to have agency and they also need to be inspired towards innovation. So small steps to big changes, agency and innovation.